Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About. This is me, Amin.
This is Alex.
And today we're going to talk about the big Apple announcement in September. So I think today is the 17th of September. Apple announced something early morning, 16th of September.
Yep.
Alex was following the story from start to finish. There wasn't an iPhone 12 announcement. That's happening sometime in October. A lot of people were expecting Apple to announce the iPhone 12 this time, during this announcement, but they didn't. Usually it's between September to October.
Usually September.
Yeah, usually it's earlier. Usually it's this period. But instead, Apple did something quite unusual. So they introduced two new smartwatches, two new Apple Watches, and two new iPads. I don't think the announcements will be quite... I think it's quite meh lah, but I mean, you told me that it's big because...
The iPad Air.
So Alex tells me that the iPad Air is a huge deal, and we're gonna get into that. But before we go into the big device, which is the iPad Air, let's talk about like the other smaller things that's been announced. So the next big thing is obviously the Apple Watch Series 6. So what's going on there?
So Apple Watch Series 6, the biggest feature is that it has a blood oxygen monitoring feature. So now they actually added a couple of extra sensors at the back of the Apple Watch. So they have like 3 arrays of sensors. So there's like a green and red lights, and now there's like some additional sensors that can actually track the oxygen level in your bloodstream, which is something that most other smartwatches have already, but this is new for the Apple Watch. But in terms of design, it looks the same, but what's new is that it's now available in product red. So you can get the Apple Watch 6 with the red body, and you can get a matching red band if you want to be fully red. Yeah. And of course, obviously, there's a couple of new features that's also enabled by the new watchOS 7.
What are the new features?
So one of it will be, I think, more advanced health tracking, so you can track like yoga, dance, and all that. And also, since we're in the pandemic right now, they also has this hand washing detection. So when you wash your hands, we talked about this in the previous episode.
We did talk about this in the previous episode.
Yeah, so you wash your hands, you can have a timer to 20 seconds to make sure you wash your hands properly.
But nobody washes their hands while wearing their watch.
Only Amin. I do. No issues whatsoever.
Then your hands are not clean. Okay, anyway, yes, Alex, you summarized it quite well. There are also new colors. There's a new blue, an updated gold,
and there's a new band, they call it a solo band.
Yeah, the colors in the new grey and black called graphite, and then the new red. The thing that I really like is the solo band, so I just want to point that out. I have a number of smartwatches. For running and for fitness activities, I actually use a Garmin instead of an Apple Watch. But I have to say, the Apple Watch has, I think, among all smartwatches I've ever tested, the best feeling, or the most comfortable one to be worn. And I'm really excited about this new solo loop that you're talking about. So it's like a loop. If you're listening to our podcast, I can't show you the example, but I have it on my Apple Watch, right? Not the solo loop, but the standard Apple Watch has like a clasp and like a button here where with holes.
There's a buckle type design.
Yeah, it's a buckle type design. Yeah. That's the best way to do it. With the solo loop, it's stretchable. You just slide it on like a rubber band. It's made out of silicone.
Yep.
And the other one was the braided solo loop. I think those two things are really cool. I can't wait for that. And the good thing is it's backwards compatible. You can use it on your old Apple Watches, and you can use it for the Series 6. Apple made a big deal about the blood oxygen sensor thing, the SpO2 monitoring thing. And Alex, again, you rightly pointed out, SpO2 monitoring is available on most smartwatches you can get right now. Only the Apple Watch doesn't have it, so I'm surprised they make it a big deal. What does SpO2 do? It detects it's actually like a measurement of how much oxygen you have in your blood, and that is a general indication of how healthy and how well you are overall. So we usually have a blood oxygen of about 98%. If it goes down below to 92, you might need to get yourself checked. It's a good indication of like whether you're sleeping well, you're breathing well in your sleep. So it's a good indication, and to have it on Apple Watch, I think that's cool. I think what Apple Watch does really well is that they visualize the data much better. So even if other smartwatches like my Garmin have the SpO2 monitoring, the graphs are like very standard. So if I look at it from my Garmin Connect application, it's quite boring lah.
That's quite clunky and all that.
Yeah, it doesn't. It looks kind of lame. It looks very data-ish. I mean, I like how Apple presents it, and I also want to point out that among all the smartwatches, I think Apple does it the best lah, in terms of pairing, in terms of what the watch does, and it's great. So the Series 6 is an update, but if you have a Series 5, I don't think the SpO2 sensor is a selling point for me lah. I mean, okay.
Yeah, okay, another feature that they brought in is the auto altimeter. So let's say if you're walking up,
Always on
altimeter. Yeah. So I don't know whether is that a huge deal, because previously there's altimeter. So I don't see the benefit of having an auto altimeter. What do you think?
Okay, so I'm not like really like a fitness buff. I do running and cycling and all that, but I don't do hiking. Maybe having an always on altimeter help if you're a hiker. But again, to your point, the altitude that I'm in is not a telemetry that I really look into even during fitness exercises. So I really want to know like what my heart rate is, and mostly just my heart rate and my pace. So I'm not sure whether having a always on altimeter is useful.
Maybe for specific fitness activities.
Yeah, so I don't know why they have it there.
But it's good to have it.
The other thing is also the display, right? So Apple says the display is 2.5 times brighter than the Series 5. Here's the thing. It says 2.5 times brighter when your wrist is down. Okay. I picked that out because essentially I think it's the same display.
Yeah, because
they just made the AOD brighter.
Yes, only that part. And I think that while maintaining the battery life, right, I guess that's due to the efficiency of the new chip, the new S6 chips. Yeah.
So I guess having the AOD brighter 2.5 times more means that, because if you have an Apple Watch Series 5, AOD is always on display. When the display goes into always on mode, it dims slightly, and it's noticeable, but you can still see the display. I think what's going to happen now with the Series 6 is that the Apple Watch in always on mode and on active mode is going to be almost the same level of brightness. Again, very small, minute changes. I wouldn't consider. It's difficult. Would you call the Series 6 an upgrade over the 5?
I would say it's like a top upgrade. It's like a slightly update.
It's an improvement.
It's an improvement, because like the screen, right, in terms of normal usage, I don't think you can see a difference. And also in terms of the features, well, apart from the auto altimeter and the blood oxygen level, everything else is pretty much the same as the Series 5. If you get WatchOS 7, you get the same features as well.
Yeah, so in terms of hardware, you get the SPO2 and then the altimeter always on. I don't know whether that's a hardware or software thing. I think mostly it's hardware.
Maybe the display is slightly better, maybe for more better efficiency.
And then you get a better processor.
Yeah, S6.
Upgraded processor. I don't know whether processor is a big deal. Again, you're using a Series 3.
Series 2.
Series 2.
Yeah.
No problems, right?
For me, no issues. But I guess to support few new applications,
maybe. But most of the software stuff is backward compatible. You can use it on the Series 3.
Yep.
Is there a minimum? Is that
3? WatchOS 7 is only supported on Series 3 and above, so mine sadly is not supported.
So you need to upgrade to a SE or a 6.
Something newer, yes.
I think better a 6 lah. Okay, so that, if you're using a Series 2, upgrade to a 6, it's worthwhile. But there's also like alternatives. So if you don't want to spend so much, so I think the Series 6 is going to be priced at about the same price as the Series 5 right now.
It is.
The prices are out already.
The prices are out already.
Okay.
Yeah. So for the Apple Watch Series 6, the 40mm version is priced at 1,749, and then the 44mm version is 1,899. This is for the GPS version.
For the
cellular version.
Cellular
version, you got to add about additional $350. So the 40mm cellular version is 2,199, while the 44mm version is 2,349.
This is for the Series 6.
Series 6.
Oh wow! So that means it's cheaper than the. Is it cheaper than the Series 5?
I think it should be the same price as the Series 5. And of course, there's also a stainless steel version, and that costs that starts from 2,999 for the 40mm, and the bigger 44mm version is priced at 3,249.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's for the stainless steel version.
Yeah.
Not worth it lah. I mean, stainless steel as a material for the watch is better, right?
Yeah, it's more sturdy, but one thing is a bit heavier though.
Yeah. Okay.
But another feature I want to point out here is that finally you can use an Apple Watch with an iPhone.
Yes.
It's called family setup.
Yes, family setup. But I want to. Okay, yeah, we should talk about family setup. I think Apple, right? For me, the big thing for during this announcement is that Apple is like really enhancing its. Not enhancing, not retrenching. It's solidifying its position in services as an ecosystem. So previously, you need an iPhone to pair your Apple Watch. So that means if you're buying it for your children, you have to buy an iPhone for them. Or you can pair the watch with your phone, but it doesn't work because you can't wear two watches. And I think there's a lot of confusion there.
Correct, and it always needs to be connected to get updates and all that.
Yeah.
You can't work standalone.
Yeah, so they made this announcement is very important because the ecosystem now is complete. So your children now have iPads and iPhones, and now they can also use
the Apple Watch without owning an actual iPhone.
Yeah, without you owning an actual iPhone, and the Apple Watch is now like really accessible in terms of pricing.
You can get the Series 3 for like less than $900.
It's $899.
$849, and then the bigger version is like 999.
Oh, $999.
$999 for the.
I mean, I wouldn't spend 1,000 ringgit on a smartwatch for my kid, but you know, 800 is kind of palatable because the features are quite good. I mean, they have this like a geofencing thing where I don't know whether if you go out of the geofence it will tell you, but if you are in an area where you are supposed to be at that time, the watch will alert you. You can do memojis. For the kids, you can create memojis on the screen. So it's smart because my kids are on iOS as well, and I have a family account, so I know how much screen time they utilize over the week or over the day. I have all the apps locked in, so they can only use the apps for a certain amount of time. If they want more, they have to let me know, and then I will ask them whether they've done their chores, whether they've done their homework. And it's super easy to get into that, and for me this is huge because having a watch also is convenient because they don't have to carry iPads and iPhones anymore for us to be able to reach out to them. They didn't mention in the announcement whether we can use the walkie-talkie function.
They didn't mention
with the family setup, but they did mention that everybody gets their own number.
Yeah, but here's the thing I forgot to bring up. This family setup function only works if you have the cellular version though. Yeah, so that means you have to pay a bit more. So if you look at the pricing right now, right, the cheapest watch with cellular is the Apple Watch Series 3. The cellular variant is going for 1,299 for the 38mm.
Okay, so that's
and then 40mm is 1,449. Because obviously, think about it, right? If you have an iPhone, right, how are you going to contact them? So the best way is to use cellular data. So like for example, kids, right, they don't need to have a phone, but you can contact them using the watch.
Okay, I guess in terms of pricing, then you have to also consider a number of factors here.
Yeah.
If it's cellular, then that means they have to have their own
SIM
plan.
So it must have a plan as well.
eSIM, right?
Yeah, eSIM. So I don't know how much the telco is going to charge it in Malaysia because right now it's only available in selected countries. So like for example, in Malaysia right now, right, the eSIM solution is about $20 extra per month, and that's shared using the same number. So for this, you need to have a standalone eSIM with a dedicated number.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So all that talk about the ecosystem is great, but it comes with a price. I thought that we could use the 899, less than 1,000 ringgit Apple Series 3.
But it does make sense because if you don't have an iPhone, right, this is the only way you can connect.
I guess people will find interesting and interesting ways to use this new feature. I guess you as a dog owner would have. I think people would create a dog collar.
Yeah, just to hold the watch, right?
To hold the watch thing and then have it on their dog. I think that's quite cool also, right? With their cats.
Yeah, but the main thing is like OC is best for humans because you want to have the health tracking feature running all the time because it can track like your health conditions. And another good thing about this feature is not just for kids, but for senior citizens. So let's say if you're an elderly parent that needs to be monitored now and then, if let's say if they have a fall, you can actually get alerted like, oh, okay, this person has fallen down, and there's no response. You can contact them straight away.
Yeah. So a lot of useful features there.
Yep.
Anything else you want to add to the family setup that's interesting?
I think that's pretty much it. It's not coming to Malaysia yet. It's only going to a handful number of countries. But I think it's a good initiative from Apple to do so, especially for kids tracking, because I think for the past few years, right, we've seen a lot of watches for kids. They use eSIM or SIM cards.
Terrible though.
Not only is crap, but also the another issue is security, because other people are concerned about whether third-party people can tap into the watch, listen to the microphones and all that. And since it's Apple, you know that they put a lot of emphasis on privacy and security. So I think this is a better solution.
Yeah, so if you're looking for a smartwatch to monitor your kids' movement, I think this is the only solution that's available, that's complete.
Correct.
But you gotta be in the ecosystem lah. And for me, it's like I like that my kids are running around and doing their own thing. I like them being independent. So this helps give you that sense of safety and security. Okay, so the other big thing is also the second Apple Watch that was announced during the announcement was the Apple Watch SE. I think I mentioned this before in one of the episodes. Apple is trying to make their products more accessible and more affordable. I think this is the first time ever in a keynote that the word affordable was mentioned. I could be wrong, but I think it is, because when that was mentioned in the announcement, I was like, what? Apple and affordable? Because they've always separated pricing from their products. They've always made pricing as like, here's the cost. I mean, here's you like all this, right? This is the price. And a lot of people just don't question that. They're not like, oh no, they go like, okay, here's the price.
Yeah, because we give you, okay, this is the best product we have ever created, and then this is the price, take it or leave it. But okay, going to the Apple Watch SE, initially I thought, okay, maybe this is going to be similar to the iPhone SE, whereby you get like a not so new body, but at least the latest processor and latest features. But this isn't the case for the Watch SE. In fact, it's not even the cheapest watch you can buy right now. It's actually a mid-range Apple Watch, and you don't get the latest S6 processor. Yeah.
Well, I guess it doesn't make sense for them to make like a watch that has all the latest features. Old body but latest processor, because for a watch the processing is not really a big deal. The features are more, the hardware specs is more of a big deal. So I think it makes sense lah. But essentially what the Apple Watch SE is a Series 5 with what?
With stripped down features.
You don't get the AOD, right?
You don't get the AOD. It's a previous gen display, which is similar
Series
as the
4.
Series 4.
Okay.
And then you don't get the latest optical sensor at the back. So which means you don't get the ECG, which we don't have it here in Malaysia, by the way. You also don't get the blood oxygen monitoring from the Series 6. But interestingly, you still get the auto altimeter feature.
So it's a mishmash of
It's
things.
a mismatch, yeah.
I don't know if you guys are watching this on YouTube, put us a comment, let me know why having an always-on altimeter is important. But I'm just happy that they have a mid-range segment, because previously when they announced the Apple Watch Series 5, they immediately discontinued the Series 4. And the next affordable option was the still Series 3. But now they've introduced a model in the middle, which I'm not sure whether it's going to confuse people more. It's making the Apple hardware more affordable to a lot more people. So if to a lot of people the Series 3 is like, this is too basic
or too small, the screen is.
And then because with the Series 5 Apple introduces like a bigger screen, right? Series 4. And then the Series 3 is smaller. Then the Series, not the Series 3, the SE has a bigger display as with the Series 6 and 4 and 5. So it's good to have that in the middle. But yeah, I mean, it's a I mean, Apple cannot screw this up, lah, right? Apple Watch is like the best smartwatch you can get.
In fact, could we say it's the best-selling watch right now?
Yeah. No issues there, no comments there, except for like the cellular version.
Yeah. For me, it's that, is it worth paying the extra money? Like, okay, for the SE, not so much. You pay 250 ringgit extra. Because I remember when it first came out to Malaysia, the cellular version cost 450 ringgit extra. And on top of that, right, you need to pay additional subscription. Most telcos had to pay 20 ringgit extra per month just to have the cellular data on the watch.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, right, if you're a hardcore Apple user, like even for us, for example, we use iPhone, we use Apple Watch, right? How often do you need to how often do you actually go out with just Apple Watch without the phone?
Okay, the only time I think that I don't want to bring an iPhone is when I go running or cycling.
Okay.
That's the only time lah.
Yeah, and then you're paying like 20 bucks per month for it.
20 bucks for that.
And then you pay additional like 450 ringgit just for that feature.
Actually, 450, right? You can just buy another like cheap phone,
Like
like a Nokia phone,
or like a cheap Redmi.
Yeah, yeah, and bring that. So it's not worth it. And you're right. Even with me running and cycling, I have my phone with me all the time. Yeah. It makes sense if you have the phone plus Apple Pay, because then if you want to go buy breakfast and stuff like that after you run or after you cycle, you can just use Apple Pay and not bother with your phone. But Apple Pay is not available in Malaysia, unfortunately. I don't know when that's going to come. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, so now Apple Watches are done. Series 6 is a pretty much standard update. The good news is there is now an affordable version called the Apple Watch SE.
Oh, the price you haven't mentioned yet.
So
the SE,
the SE, yes.
Yeah, the SE starts at 1,199 ringgit, and then that's for the non-cellular version, and then the bigger size 44 it starts from 1,349. If one cellular, it's additional 250 bucks. So which means that the 40mm version is going for 1,449, same price as an 8-gen iPad, and the 44mm version is going for 1,599.
You can get an iPad for that price.
Yes.
What the hell, man?
It is what it is.
Okay, how is it that the watch costs more than the iPad?
Why not? Because you're cramming more stuff into a small thing.
But the display is, okay, 70% or major cost of a device is the display and the battery. So I would argue that I can take all the processing of this Apple Watch, the same size of an Apple Watch, and put it in an iPad, and that's all you need, right? Most of the space that's filled up in an iPad is the battery.
Yep, correct.
So Apple is, I think, making a lot of money with the Apple Watch because there's no competitors.
There are competitors, but not as good as them.
Yeah,
right?
not as good as Apple. Okay, so pricing wise, I don't know, man.
I feel that if you're going to get the Watch SE, right? I would suggest that you go get an Apple Watch Series 5, because I'm pretty sure a lot of retailers out there still have stock, and I'm pretty sure they will have some discounts since it's a face-up model. So you probably get a better deal with that because number one, it has always on display, and then it also has the ECG function if it's available in Malaysia. So overall, I would say that the Apple Watch Series 5 is a better buy than the SE if you can find a promotion for it.
Yeah, I think that's a very good recommendation. Okay, so moving on from watches, Apple also announced the Apple Fitness Plus. Again, this is something that I'm really excited about. Again, it's all about the ecosystem. I'm an Apple TV subscriber. You subscribe to Apple Music, right?
Not anymore.
Okay.
Spotify all the way now.
Well, I do Apple TV just for like testing purposes. I was hoping that I'll get more of the US content in Malaysia, but I don't. But the other service that I subscribe to is Apple Arcade, and I think that's cool because my kids play games, and I play games sometimes, and I play just normal pick up and play games, and I think the Apple Arcade has a good selection of that, and it's for $9.90. It's worth the money.
Yeah, it's a good deal.
It's not bad. And with the Apple Arcade kind of usability and ecosystem and compatibility across all my Apple devices, I'm hoping Apple Fitness Plus is going to work the same way. And I think, and if it does, it's really cool. The integration with all the Apple devices make it a really powerful proposition for those who are in the ecosystem. And in turn, that also helps influence their friends. So it's like, let's say if I have a friend that's not in the Apple ecosystem, and because a lot of people ask me, Apple or Android? And then I'll come back to this point. There's no comparison actually. Android has its special abilities and Apple has its special abilities. But I'll come to Apple because of the ecosystem support. And if you are running a Mac, or if you're only using an iPhone and you just want to use an iPhone, then maybe an Android is better. If you want to compare it that way, phone for phone, then if you ask me, then Android is better. But if you have a Mac and an iPad and also and watch and also an iPhone, then nothing beats it. There's no point for you to have an iPad, a Mac, and an Android phone. It just doesn't make sense. I don't know why. I don't know why. Why would somebody do that?
Yeah, I've seen some people they have own all the Apple stuff, but their phones are Android. Like, huh? It's a bit weird.
It's weird because in terms of performance and camera and all that, yeah, there are some preferences, but performance-wise, I think they're pretty close. And the ecosystem is the big deal for me. So I'm looking forward to Apple Fitness. Apple Fitness basically is like not a gym membership. It's like a virtual gym membership.
It's like a personal trainer.
Yeah.
It's like a personal trainer subscription.
Yeah.
So what it does is actually it motivates you to work because you have like a live video feed, right, with an actual professional trainer.
Yep.
And while that is happening, right, you can see your
Is
vital
it live,
signs.
the video feed?
No, my sense should be live because you also see your health
The
vital signs.
telemetry is live, but I think the classes are pre-recorded.
I think I could be mistaken. Yeah, it's pre-recorded. But I like the fact that you can see your vital signs there, and then and that in return, right, motivates you to complete the task at hand.
Yeah, that's cool because you can see your telemetry, you can see your heart rate. If you finish if you've completed a ring, you can see it on the display. You can do the workout on your on the TV. You can do the workout on your phone. I didn't mention Mac though.
I think
so
any
sure.
Apple screen should be able to work.
Yeah, should be able to. I mean, it doesn't make sense. So that I'm from this announcement, I'm really looking forward to the Apple Fitness Plus. On the announcement, they didn't mention that it's available in Malaysia, but they're saying more countries at the end of the year. So hopefully that happens. And
it comes at a price though.
Yeah. $9.90, right?
$9.99 per month, or you can pay one full year for $80.
Yeah, $79.90 USD.
Yeah, and if you buy a new Apple Watch, you get 3 months free.
Yeah. How do they? I don't know how they're gonna detect that.
Can I mean, it's like just like the Apple TV subscription, Apple TV Plus. Yeah, I think by serial number.
Okay. All right. So Apple Fitness Plus, something I'm looking forward to. Now, moving on to the big ticket item is before that, another service. Apple also announced this thing called Apple One, which is like it's like a family plan.
Yeah.
Like a family plan for all their services. So you get Apple TV, Apple
Arcade Music. There's like 4 different packages.
Yeah, and then you pay one price, and then 5 people can use it. So that's out of the way. In terms of storage, I don't like to use iCloud for my. I only use it for phone backups. I think, not for pictures and everything. Because once you're in there, yeah.
Okay.
Because once you're in there, right, it's quite difficult to take it out. And I don't like that. I don't like being locked in.
When you say take it out, okay, it depends on how you're gonna take it out. If you can take it out from like an Apple device, like from a Mac or from your iPhone, from an iPad, I think it's pretty seamless. Especially if you're gonna work on a lot of video projects. Like for example, you show your iPhone, you can just go to an iPad and then you can just pull the clips out from the iCloud very seamlessly. But I get what you're saying. Let's say for example, I need the video file out.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a hassle.
Yeah, it's difficult. You can't just plug in a USB and take it out. So
yeah, it's not as seamless as let's say Google Drive, right? You can just share to someone.
Yeah.
As easy as that. You can share, but it's not as seamless.
And I don't like that the
resolution, right?
The resolution is one thing. I cannot. I don't like that everything I have is in the cloud. I don't know. I still want like a physical, personal hard disk that houses all my memories. You know. I don't know.
For me, I
like that.
I was like you as well, but we come to the point that okay, I want to pull a picture taken in this place. That's going to be a hassle.
Yeah, the searchability is one thing, lah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Apple One. Okay, the 2 big ticket items, the iPads, 2 iPads being announced. One is the new
iPad Air.
The new iPad.
The 8th gen iPad. The entry level iPad. Yeah.
So they've refreshed their entry level. iPad again, nothing stellar or groundbreaking. It's just now it supports
A12 processor.
It has a new processor.
Yep.
Support for Apple Pencil.
It
Oh,
also
that
has
was
Apple
before.
Pencil,
Okay.
yeah. And it comes with a 20-watt charger, but it doesn't mean that it's charged faster. It just has a faster charger.
Because it still uses Lightning, right?
Still uses Lightning.
That's where
I'm pretty sure it's going to be a 10-watt Type 1 charging.
No, this is another thing. Okay.
But
Apples and
future-proofing,
cables,
right?
we'll talk about. I think we talked about this before,
Yeah.
but maybe we'll come and visit it again because now you have iPhones that use Lightnings, and mostly all of the iPads are using USB-Cs, and the Macs are using USB-Cs. So, but we talked about it, and Apple is not going to move away from not using Lightning on their phones because it's easy money for them. Blah blah blah. So the cheapest iPad also uses Lightning.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay, so if you're getting a tablet, a lot of people ask me, what I need a tablet. I need a tablet below the price point, usually about 1K, 2K. The new iPad, the new 8th generation iPad, how much is it going to cost? Do we have the price?
Same price as the old one. So it starts at 1449 for the 32 gig Wi-Fi version. If you want more storage, the 128 is going for 1849. And if you want cellular, 32 gigs is going for 1999, and the 128 is going for 2399.
Yeah. So my answer to a lot of people asking me about tablets is that Apple is the only way to go. Yeah, and there's actually not a lot of competition out there. Huawei makes tablets, but I wouldn't recommend them at all because there's no Google support. The next brand that has tablet is Samsung. No problems with their hardware, with their displays and the speakers and everything. The only problem is that it's Android.
Yeah, they don't seem to give a damn about
They don't
tablets.
care anymore.
Yeah, they don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Even Google don't make their own tablets
Yeah,
anymore.
they don't care. I mean, they tried with this old version of Android, Honeycomb.
Yep.
And
then they also have the Pixel tablets as well. So
Yeah.
Nexus 7s and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, so they wanted to go into tablet and they created a tablet-specific Android OS. But somehow or other, I don't know whether it's Google or the developers, they just don't develop apps that are optimized for tablet. And a lot of people seem to think that, hey, I can run, what's the problem with running a mobile app on a tablet? It's just a bigger, you get a bigger screen.
Stretch, yeah.
But I don't know, it's the experience, and that's a big deal. It's not optimized. I want a tablet because I don't want a bigger handphone. I don't want a bigger smartphone. I want a tablet to do more things. Granted, the Samsung alternatives allow you to do the dual screen, whatever has the Note capabilities and things, but most of the stuff that you want to do on a tablet, having an optimized app that's optimized for tablet usage is a big deal. And the only people that are doing that with a tablet optimized OS and tablet optimized applications is Apple.
Yeah, and I agree with that because if you look at Huawei and Samsung, right, you can see that these brands, right, they're taking their own initiative to add more tablet features like iOS. Google's not giving a damn.
Yeah.
And they tried so much, right? At the end, yeah, it works fine, but it's still not polished, not optimized because number one is that we don't have enough tablet optimized apps on Android.
Yeah.
That's just a sad case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're looking for affordable iPad, the 8th generation is the best way to go.
You can get Apple Pencil as well.
Yep.
You can also plug in a keyboard as well. And just to recap the price, the first gen Apple Pencil costs 419 ringgit, and the smart keyboard costs 649 ringgit.
The power adapter is USB-C though, right?
Sorry?
For the iPad.
So which means they're going to give you a Type-C to Lightning.
Yeah.
Which is okay because I think everyone's moving to that direction.
It's good lah, because then at least I can plug in.
To
you
the
can
Mac.
plug in the Mac.
Yes.
You can plug in. Does the Mac? Does it allow charging? It doesn't, right? If I plug
I won't
I don't
recommend
think
that.
so.
Yeah. Maybe
Because
to
it's
back up.
super slow. So you get updated processor, updated everything, faster charger, but not necessarily faster charging.
Yep. It's just for future proofing.
Yeah.
Yes, nice 20 watts. Yeah.
Okay, so iPad, the 8th generation iPad, our recommendation for entry level iPad tablets. Now, the biggest thing, the iPad Air.
4th gen.
4th gen. Okay, why is it the biggest thing? Okay, go down through the specs first.
This tablet is quite surprising because they just released the resurrected iPad Air last year. So it's like within 1 year you have a new iPad.
Usually, how long does it take?
Usually they have like a 2-year life cycle because the tablets can last quite long.
Yep.
Like the iPad Pro, I think they waited 2 years before they released new version. So the surprising thing is that they launched the Apple A14 chip on this tablet because okay, for those who don't know, usually Apple announces a new processor for with every single new iPhone. Like the current iPhone 11 Pro runs on the A13 Bionic chip, and the year before the XS Max is running on the A12 Bionic. So for the new iPhone, of course you can expect that it's going to be A14. But instead of launching on the iPhone, they bring it to the iPad Air. So this is the A14 Bionic, and it's the first to come with a 5nm processor, which means it's super efficient and it's more powerful. In fact, I would think that this could be the most powerful tablet you can get today, even better than the iPad Pro to some extent.
It's powerful because of the processor.
Processor for 5nm, but I reckon that the A12Z or A12X on the iPad Pros, I think they could have a slight advantage because of more cores.
And it's the Z and the iPad Pro processors are not really new processors, right? They're just like updated processors.
It's like an enhanced version of what you have on iPhone.
Yeah,
but
and it's
actually
like
more
2 generations behind, so it's because it's running the A12.
A12, yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be A13, right?
Yeah.
The current gen is A13.
Yeah, that's why the last iPad Pro, right, it's more like a tweak. So essentially, they say that most people are saying that it's the same chip, but they enable more cores. Yeah.
Yeah. So what makes this? Okay, go down to the prices and what variants that's available for the iPad Air.
Okay, so the iPad Air obviously is more expensive this time because the iPad Air now looks different. You don't get the traditional iPad look, which means you don't have.
No, it looks like the old iPad because it's squarish, right? The what's this?
That's the frame.
The size.
Yeah, but when I say that it doesn't look like a traditional iPad, it's because you don't have the home button anymore. So it's becoming like the iPad Pro.
Yes.
And the interesting thing is that instead of using a face unlock, you still get a Touch ID. And it's for the first time you get a side-mounted Touch ID. It's actually on the power button. Yeah.
Yes.
And the screen is 10.9 inches, slightly smaller than the iPad Pro. I think Apple did it deliberately so that it doesn't fight with iPad Pro. So 10.9 inch screen, liquid retina display, as usual. It's a IPS panel.
2360 by 1640 resolution.
Yep. Yeah. And then I already mentioned the processor. RAM, normally Apple doesn't disclose the RAM until someone tears it down. And then you get a single camera at the back. It's a 12 megapixel camera. Or the front, you get a 7 megapixel FaceTime ID. They can do FaceTime HD. And what most people will love is that it finally comes with proper stereo speakers.
What do you mean by proper stereo speakers?
Because the previous iPad Air, you have dual speakers, but they are down-firing. So if you watch in landscape mode, right, you don't get the stereo effect.
You mean the 2 speakers are placed one side,
Yes.
like at one side?
Correct.
So to get proper stereo speakers, you should have the speakers placed left and right, opposite ends of each other to get that proper staging.
Correct.
So the question is now, why would people buy an iPad Pro? The prices for this iPad Air?
It's so much cheaper. Okay, so the starting model, the base model, 64 gigs with Wi-Fi, it starts at 2599. 256 gigs is 3249. And if you want the cellular version, 64 gig is 3149. And 256 gig is 3799.
Okay.
So if compared to the previous iPad Air, you're paying about $400 more.
Okay, for me that's fine because let's look at the pros, right? The iPad Pro, the smallest one is 11 inch, right? Or 12?
11 inch.
And then there's a bigger one, which is the
12.9.
Okay. And then the prices are like almost double.
Well, the iPad Pro is significantly more expensive. Okay, the base model, the 11-inch 128 gig version is going for $3499. That's for 11 inch. For the 12.9 inch, that's going for $4399.
So
if you want to compare like similar specs, okay, the closest I can compare to is the iPad Air 256 gigs Wi-Fi is going for $3249, and look at the similar model for the iPad Pro. 11-inch 256 gig Wi-Fi is $3949. That's like $700 difference.
$700. The 11-inch iPad Pro has stereo speakers, right?
It has quad stereo speakers, but it has quad setup. So you get a better speaker.
The speakers are better for sure.
The screen is also better. It has ProMotion display.
What's that?
120 Hz.
Whatever.
It's definitely better. Right, Nick?
No, man.
See?
What? Why? Again, who games on a freaking...
It's not for gaming. It's also like for drawing Apple Pencil. When you move around, it's so much smoother. It's more realistic. Yes. Right, Nick?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, Nick say yes.
Why are you using an iPad Pro now or what?
I wish I was using an iPad.
Then why are you saying it's better?
He's
Every
dead.
time I use an iPad Pro, I wish I had promotion on my iPad Air.
It takes up more battery. It uses more battery. There's no this adaptive whatever thing that you.
It does.
Does it?
Yeah, it still boasts 10 hours of battery life.
No. What about the 120 hertz adaptive speed thing?
You mean the Apple? Apple does it.
Oh really?
It matches,
Only Samsung
yeah.
doesn't do it.
On the S20, yeah. Only, yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Not a big deal for me. Okay, but coming back to the point. The point here is right now, a lot of people, if you wanted to get that all this like fancy, powerful, okay, people use iPad Pro for pro things, right? Editing and doing a lot of layers on their drawings and stuff like that. Although I do see a lot of people also watching movies on a huge ass iPad Pro at Starbucks. And I'm like scratching my head because like, what the hell, man?
You can do that. Quad speakers.
No, he was like on AirPods or something.
Okay.
But you don't need that you don't need an iPad Pro for that. But coming back to my point, the iPad Air, the new one, the one that's just been announced, is such a good proposition because it's at least 700 ringgit cheaper than a comparable iPad Pro
Yep.
with better processor
Yep. In fact, I would say this is the best processor right now.
that you can get because it's Apple's most powerful processor,
Yeah,
right?
normally you should see this on the iPad Pro first, right?
Yeah.
They should create a gap, but no, they actually give it the best processor.
Which begs the question: when was the new iPad Pro was also released this year, right? The one with the
Magic keyboard.
Yeah.
It was actually announced. Let me see. Yeah, this year, April.
So you're gonna probably wait another year for the iPad Pro to catch up with the iPad Air. And here's the good thing: you also mentioned that the iPad Air, the new one, is compatible with all of the iPad Pro's accessories, right?
Yeah, so that means, okay, number one, Apple Pencil. It uses the second generation Apple Pencil, which can charge magnetically. And it supports the new Magic Keyboard, the 11-inch version.
Yep.
So even though it's a 10.9-inch, right, but the body, the size, I think is similar to the iPad Pro 11-inch version. It's compatible.
Yeah, it's good value proposition lah. I mean, yes, I agree with Nick. I've also aspired and looked at the iPad Pro with
120 Hz display.
and aspiration one day that I could go out and purchase one, but I cannot also in good conscience tell people to buy a 3,000 ringgit tablet. For that money you can get a friggin' laptop. Having said that, the Magic Keyboard and the Apple Pencil and the quad speakers really make the iPad Pro super nice. Still, I don't think you could spend that amount of money on a tablet lah.
But you said computer, right? Well, the iPad is actually targeted as a computer replacement anyway.
What's a computer?
Yeah.
Whatever. But
Like for most people, right, if you use computers to like watch movies, do web browsing, check emails, this is a viable computer replacement.
I guess it is, but I've tried living on an iPad itself as a computer replacement. I don't know again whether it's me being old or whatever. I still prefer having a proper computer to do computer things because even with the iPad OS and the tablet optimized apps, there's still a lot of functions and features that the Mac still has that the iPad doesn't.
Yep.
Okay, so coming back to my point, the iPad Air is a good value proposition because it's so much cheaper than the iPad Pro, but it delivers, the savings you get. It's like, 90% an iPad Pro.
Yeah, and that includes a USB-C port, which you can use to plug in your external drive and even a 4K monitor through USB-C.
There you have it.
Yeah.
So if you're always like me lusting towards, I think Nick, you're the same way, right? You're going for the iPad Air.
Pro.
What? I thought you said you want an iPad Air.
The Pro over the Air, but if you take into account cost, then yeah, the Air. But I love promotion. I thought that was what we were talking about.
Okay,
No.
TLDR. Nick says he wants the iPad Air.
If it has promotion. No, okay, here's the thing. Okay, the promotion, the 120 Hz thing, if you have not experienced it, you won't realize what you're missing.
I agree.
Yeah, so the iPad Air is a good tablet to get because of the performance and the compatibility of all the iPad Pro accessories and the price.
Yeah.
So coming back to the topic that we're talking about today, Apple's not so big but also quite big announcement that is not about the iPhone 12. They've launched 2 Apple Watches. One is the Series 6, which is a standard upgrade expected from Apple. The other one is the Watch SE, which provides you with a good option to buy a fairly current and modern Apple Watch, but at a cheaper price. And then also at the entry level is the Apple Watch Series 3 that's still available. And then two new services, not two. One is the Apple Fitness Plus, and then the other one is Apple One. So for me personally, I'm looking forward to the Apple Fitness Plus. I'm looking forward to try it out, see if it can really help my training regime because I'm trying to lose weight and everything. And I'm actually looking forward to that because it works with the ecosystem. And then we have the iPad, the entry-level iPad, no-brainer there. If you're looking for a tablet, I can only tell you it should be an iPad, and the new one is upgraded, so it should be better.
Yeah.
Then we have the iPad Air. If you're waiting for the Pro, saving up for the Pro, you have enough money, not yet enough money for the Pro, wait for the iPad Air. It's going to be as close as you can get to the iPad Pro without breaking the bank. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Do you have anything else to add on?
I think that's pretty much it. So just to sum it up again, if you're looking for an iPad, don't have money for the Pro, but want something that's really good and powerful, the iPad Air is the tablet to go.
Yep. So that covers pretty much what has been announced in the Apple announcement in September. If you're waiting for the Apple iPhone 12 announcement, wait for that in October. We'll be covering that as well on StoryChanger.com. And that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I just want to remind everybody we are available on podcasts. So if you're on any of your favorite podcast platforms, just search for Soya Chinchao, Let's Talk About, and we're there. If you're listening to us on podcast, please do give us a 5-star rating because that helps us in getting more listeners to listen to our podcast. For those of you who are watching the show on YouTube, drop us a comment, give us your suggestions. Tell us what your thoughts are about the new Apple Watches and the new iPads and whether you agree or don't with us. Alright everybody, this is Amin.
It is Alex.
And don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you like the video, subscribe to our channel on YouTube, and yeah, catch you guys later. Bye.
Bye.